I think there are a lot of players you can be really excited about, especially in the first round. So Cooper DeJean from Iowa, he's not going to work out here
That's
this
the white
week
guy,
in Indianapolis.
so everybody knows.
The corner from Iowa. Yeah.
He's a cornerback from Iowa who's great athletic testing. Who played the Big Ten. Yeah.
Great athlete who could be a corner, a nickel, a safety. He's done a little bit of everything. He's been a great punt returner. Tough, physical, instinctive, man, zone, press, off, inside, outside. You love everything about Cooper DeJean from that standpoint. Quinion Mitchell from Toledo, you got a chance to see him down at the Senior Bowl, first-round prospect all day.
Let me just – everybody else from here on out is going to be not white, correct?
Correct. Yes. Okay. So now that's established.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just want to make
sure. I like both Alabama corners, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold. A lot of people really like Nate Wiggins as well. Really athletic corner from Clemson. So there's a bunch of. That's 5 names right there that people are talking about in the first round of this draft.
So for the Eagles, tell us what would a Vic Fangio corner look like, and what are the skill sets that would be a little bit different than other teams might be looking for?
I think that over the course of Vic Fangio's time in the NFL, you go to San Francisco, to Chicago, to Denver, I think a lot of people are quick to point, it's quarters coverage, so it's a lot of zone-based things. But you go to Denver, and his last year in Denver, they played man coverage as not as much as anybody, but they played a lot of man coverage, and more so than that they had played previously. And a lot of that was because of the talent that they had at corner. They drafted Patrick Surtain, and they said, this guy's one of the best young corners in football already. We're going to play a lot of man. And so I don't know that I would look at it and say, look, they have to go with Quinion Mitchell because, he played so much off zone, and that's how they're going to be. I think that there's always the mix of the on field and the off field. And so that's going to kind of open the door for really any of these guys. And then it's going to be up to Vic Fangio and the defensive staff to really kind of cater what they want to do from a coverage standpoint to that player skill set.
You mentioned the 2 Alabama corners. Kool-Aid McKinstry was the cover photo for today's show. It seemed going into the year, he was getting more of the hype. And he was like the top guy. Terrion Arnold overtook him. Is there some post-hype charm to Kool-Aid? And is he someone who I guess, do you see Terrion Arnold as the superior player? Or do you think there is some charm to Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I think that when you look at Kool-Aid, the reason why he probably got a little bit more of the hype, he started as a true freshman. And when you do that for Nick Saban in the secondary, there's going to be a lot of hype associated there. He was a 5-star recruit. Obviously, the name for what it is, there's name recognition there, right? So one of the best names you could find. But I think when you look at Kool-Aid, how he tests this week, I think will be a little bit lesser than when you compare him to some of these other corners that we've talked about. I don't think he's going to test as well as Wiggins. He wouldn't have tested as well as DeJean if DeJean was going to go. I think Arnold will test a little bit better. Quinion Mitchell, I think, is going to run in the 4.3s. I think he's going to run a little bit better. So I think when you look at the overall testing, I don't think Kool-Aid is quite that level of athlete. Still a good athlete, but I think with all those other guys, you're talking in that blue chip level. If you look at the relative athletic score, the RAS score, those guys are all going to be like 9+, and I think Kool-Aid's probably going to be in like that 8.5 to 9. So we're picking nits there, but I think when you look at Terrion Arnold, a little bit more traitsy. So like the height, weight, speed is going to be a little bit more intriguing there. The ball production was absolutely there for him this past season. Both of them were starters coming into the year, so it's not like you didn't really see anything of Terrion Arnold. But I think this past year,
is it the kind of thing where like the ball production is there because the teams were throwing away from McKinstry?
Well, I can tell you that here this year. So this past season, Terrion Arnold was targeted on 17% of his pass coverage snaps, and Kool-Aid McKinstry was targeted on just 8%. So the team stayed away from Kool-Aid McKinstry, whereas they went at Terrion Arnold. Now Arnold did come through and was productive this past season, but he did see a little bit more action.
We all silly like the mayor.